in this, there were sort of two different groups of people working at the university. The faculty and often the staff were very supportive, especially the faculty, um, especially because many of them out or felt they couldn't speak out about it because it's of course their jobs. Same with many staff members. So the students being able to do this was important. And so that was where a large amount of support was coming from. The amount of emails I got of people thanking me or sending me resources and readings to do to help inform stuff that I was saying was fantastic. The university's response as sort of an administration and a institution was not the same. It felt very demeaning at times of them being almost like a, well, we'll let them do what they need to do and get it out of their systems. The amount of times we heard due diligence, it was also very frustrating. And so people actively trying to talk to the president and being shut down, and being avoided, being told that what we were doing wasn't really mattering, it wasn't differing anything, and not being given the opportunity to discuss with board members. And so there were two very different reactions from those working at the university. Yeah, I think that's probably why I'll leave it for safety.
So do you think like the university addressed the concerns appropriately, or uh, do you wish that things went differently?
I do wish things had gone differently. I think, um, when you're on a university's campus and one like Valpo, who has such brilliant minds, just there, willing to come up with solutions and willing to work with people, I don't think that the university's reaction was great, especially when museum organizations were reaching out. So the American Association of Museums or American Alliance of Museums reached out to the university to sit down and try to find a solution. And they were shut down. They were told no, that the university had no desire to work with them on this subject. The way they treated individuals who were working at the museum wasn't great, and just not being willing to work with their faculty about it and sit down with them and try to come up with a solution. I just think they had so many resources at their fingertips that would have smoothed it over, and instead they really dug their heels in. And even when the press releases, and going and trying to dissolve the trust, it was, and there was a distinct moment when the pushback seemed to make them want it even more rather than making them pause and think. And that is
Mm.
my subjective opinion, but it's what it seemed like.
And so, in your opinion, do you think there were any like long-term effects of, the controversy just in general?
Yes, absolutely. I'm currently in grad school on the East Coast, and I'm studying stuff in the museum world. And anytime anybody asks me where I'm from, I say, "Oh, I went to Valpo," and almost always they go, "Oh, I heard about the art sale. I'm so sorry." Like it's something that expanded into the museum world, into the world of higher education. And I definitely think if you Google Valpo right now, like it's still one of the first things that pops up on that like main Google page. I think it definitely had lasting effects, um, whether it be in admission, whether it be in just how seriously people take the university. I don't think we've seen the end of the lasting effects of this necessarily. Um, and I know it became like a sticking point for students that were there during the time. Like many of them have very negative views of the administration because of their reactions to it. Um, so yes, I do think that it was less than ideal.
So, looking back, like, what lessons could be learned from the situation for both the university and the student population?
For the student population, I think that was the easiest is knowing what's going on campus. And there were moments of silver lining where you really got to see that sort of liberal arts interdisciplinary aspect of Valpo come through, because it wasn't just art students who were upset about it. It was people